Hamas and Israel preparing for possible war following a violent and deadly weekend in Gaza. Israel's defense minister saying that it's time to deliver the hardest blow on Hamas. Trey Yingst joins us live from Gaza with the latest. Trey?
The conflict of words has really turned into a larger conflict here on the ground, Heather. We are here on the Gaza Strip. Behind me, you can see fires burning. There's a number of Palestinians here in Gaza who have lit tires on fire in protests that have been going on for 30 weeks. At the end of March, some protests began here on the Gaza Strip in response to President Trump moving the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. These protests here in Gaza have continued as a result of frustration that many of Gaza's residents have regarding the Israeli blockade. This has led the delegation in Jerusalem, headed by the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, to use some strong words over the weekend towards Hamas, who has been in control of the Gaza Strip since 2006. The Israeli Prime Minister saying just yesterday that there would be strong blows and pain for Hamas to pay as a result of these protests that have turned violent as the weeks have gone on. Today, Fox News did have an exclusive interview with a senior Hamas official who said that these protests are being used as a means to a political end when it comes to the blockade in Gaza. I asked this Hamas official whether or not these protests would stop if the blockade did not end, and he said, look, we are getting closer to a larger escalation in the region. Back in 2014, during Operation Protective Edge, we did see a full-fledged war between Hamas and the Israelis. What we are seeing today, certainly of concern, not only to Hamas leadership, but also Israeli leadership when it comes to conflict on the ground. We have already seen a number of people shot here today with live ammunition. We are getting a lot of tear gas at our position right now as the Israeli troops are looking to push back many of these Palestinian protesters. Additionally, as these protests have erupted and escalated in the weeks through the summer, we've actually seen many of the protesters here in Gaza using explosive devices and also hand grenades. This is something that I did push the Hamas official on, trying to get answers about why they would call these peaceful protests if there are explosives being used. And he said, look, there are certainly going to be escalations in violence if we do not see better conditions for people living here on the Gaza Strip. Again, if you look behind me here today, live ammunition, tear gas, tires on fire, and even Israeli snipers firing at boats in the water of the Mediterranean just to my right. So certainly an escalation to what we have seen earlier in the summer. Just last weekend, Fox News covering these protests along the border on the other side of the Gaza Strip. As you just heard off in the distance, another explosion, likely a grenade or a pipe bomb. I'm going to toss it back to you here, though we are getting a lot of tear gas at this position. Heather?
Yeah, understandably. Our shot going in and out as a result of all that. Thank you, Trey.
Real tense moments over there. Thank you, Trey. What did you think of the president's interview last night? It covered a lot of territory. We'll put that question.